Hello guys and welcome to the Vscripting tutorial. I'm still new to this kind of stuff, so yeah, but basically you're gonna have to figure a lot of things out on your own as well. But I'm gonna go over the basic like main stuff, if that makes sense. Okay, so the first thing that you really want to do is you're gonna go ahead and create your file, right? So it's gonna be L4d2, it's gonna be in scripts, Vscripts. There's a lot of stuff right here is disorganized. Don't worry about it. But basically, I'm going to create a folder called VAP, and I'm going to be making a file called main.nut. Kind of important because .nut is what is used, right? Okay, so after you do that, you can already start editing stuff here, right? And also, I do recommend if you use VS Code that you do use the scroll language support thing right here. And basically, it'll make everything look nice. Nice, nice, nice. For example, if I were to like type in like this, right, you can see it's blue. So like boom, see, nice, right? I guess. There you go. So that's gonna help you out. I would recommend it. All right, now let's go ahead and start this up. Okay. So first thing I'm gonna talk about is like functions, right? So what functions do is they allow you to basically just do a lot of stuff. It's kind of hard to explain it, but let me just go ahead and say print L, right? So what this function does, right? So print L is a function that's in source, well, in Squirrel, that allows you to basically print whatever you put into here into the console, right? So if I were to go ahead and do print one, right? So print one, or print L1, so print L, there's print and there's print L. Print just basically prints just, it's basically the same thing except print L actually like does new lines. That's probably really confusing, but I'll show you here really soon. Okay, so of course this thing is called main, right? So VAP slash main, right? Because VAP and then main. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do script underscore execute VAP slash main. As you see, we get number one, right? So number one is right here. So if I were to keep on doing the same thing over and over again, right? It's going to like one, 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 one like that, right? I'm just going to set a keybind real quick. I'm going to do, I don't know, bind, and of course I'm not typing. That's great, right? Let me go ahead and do that. Okay. Hello guys and welcome to the Vscripting tutorial. I'm still new to this kind of stuff, so yeah. But basically you're gonna have to figure a lot of things out on your own as well. But I'm gonna go over the basic like main stuff, if that makes sense. Okay, so the first thing that you really want to do is you're gonna go ahead and create your file, right? So it's gonna be L4d2, it's gonna be in scripts, Vscripts. There's a lot of stuff right here is disorganized. Don't worry about it. But basically, I'm going to create a folder called VAP, and I'm going to be making a file called main.nut. Kind of important because .nut is what is used, right? Okay, so after you do that, you can already start editing stuff here, right? And also, I do recommend if you use VS Code that you do use the scroll language support thing right here. And basically, it'll make everything look nice. Nice, nice, nice. For example, if I were to like type in like this, right, you can see it's blue. So like boom, see, nice, right? I guess. There you go. So that's gonna help you out. I would recommend it. All right, now let's go ahead and start this up. Okay. So first thing I'm going to talk about is like functions, right? So what functions do is they allow you to basically just do a lot of stuff. It's kind of hard to explain it, but let me just go ahead and say print L, right? So what this function does, right? So print L is a function that's in source, well, in Squirrel, that allows you to basically print whatever you put into here into the console, right? So if I were to go ahead and do print one, right? So print one, or print L1, so print L, there's print and there's print L. Print just basically prints just, it's basically the same thing except print L actually like does new lines. That's probably really confusing, but I'll show you here really soon. Okay, So, of course, this thing is called main, right? So vap slash main, right? Because vap and then main. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do script underscore execute vap slash main. As you see, we get number one, right? So number one is right here. So if I were to keep on doing the same thing over and over again, right? It's going to like 1, 1, 1, 1 like that, right? I'm just going to set a keybind real quick. I'm going to do, I don't know, bind, and of course I'm not typing. That's great, right? Let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so bind b script underscore execute vap slash main. Alright, go ahead and do that. You see the top left. So every time I do it, you see how it brings down, it keeps going in a different line? Alright, now let me go ahead and show you this real quick. So if I go ahead and just do regular print, right, let's see what happens. As you can see, it's all together. That's why I prefer print L, because it actually does like each new line. It's easier to read. So I always use print L. You don't have to, and there's probably a reason why you would use one or the other. Um, so basically, yeah, so you can print things here. It doesn't matter what you put. Almost accidentally close that out like a dummy. I go ahead and press B, boom, 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 as you can see 5, right? Okay, that's easy. That's easy stuff. Basic, basic, basic stuff. Now I'm going to go over how to like make your own custom function because this function already exists, like I said. It's just everywhere. So let's go ahead and create our own function. So let's go ahead and say I want to create our own way of like printing things, right? So we could do function. I don't know what to call it. We can call it printer. Why not, right? Okay, I'm gonna go like this. So basically, what this does is it creates a function named printer, right? And you got to include this right here. And what I'm gonna do right here is I'm gonna put something like input, right? Okay, and then you also need to put this right here. So as you can see, these two are highlighted together, which means these two are connected together. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do print L, and I'm just gonna do whatever's inside here, right? The input. Okay. So now that we have this, right? I'm gonna go ahead and execute vap, right? So as you can see, it doesn't do 5 or anything. So what's going on? So because now it's a function, right? So now I could do script, I could do printer, and I could put whatever I want in here. So if I go ahead and let me go ahead and full screen this. I go ahead and do like 3 or 4, right? So 4, 7. Okay. Now here's the thing, okay. Let's go ahead and say I want to just say hello. It won't do that because hello does not exist. So we have to put it around in quotes, right? So boom. There you go, now it says hello. So you need to keep that in mind, and I'm going to show you exactly why this happens, and like, it's not that bad, but I'm going to show you exactly how you can do things like this. So the main reason why you can't like just type in like hello there is because, for example, right here, you see where it says input, and it does input right here, right? So whatever is in here is going to get put in here, right? But if you just had this in quotes, instead of whatever you type, like if I were to put like 4, script printer 4, then it would just, it just would say input still. And so that's why we use quotes. And another reason is because, like, let's say I do local hello equals, I don't know, I'm just going to say Freddy, because why not, right? And I'm going to go ahead and do print L hello. So now, because hello actually exists now, it exists as Freddy, it is going to print out the word Freddy. Yep. Okay. Go ahead and just make sure we got everything. So we gotta get say all this stuff here, right? So functions already went over that. Integers are literally just 1, 2, 3, 4. All that kind of stuff. You should already know that. Um, Floats. So what a float is basically just decimals. Like 1.54. This would be a float, for example. Um, let's see. String, I already went over string. String looks like this, right? When you have stuff in here, like whatever. Okay, and now a verbatim string. Now I love these. These are amazing. So what verbatim strings let you do is they kind of just let you put whatever you want inside of here, right? So I just do like hello world, right? So now if I go ahead and let's go ahead and do this, right? Okay. So now it should say hello world whenever I have hello. And it should do two different lines, I'm hoping. So let's go ahead and execute this real quick. Yep, it says hello, and then as you can see, there's a new line, right? Like as if you press enter. So that's what verbatim strings are. And what I like about verbatim strings as well is if you want to do quotes in here, like if I want to do like this, as you can see, oh, this script kind of thing is a little bit messy. That's all right. So now it should say world in parentheses, right? So as you can see, hello world. Now this is kind of important for me because I use like arrays, and I'm going to have to explain that soon as well. But basically, I use verbatim strings in arrays. Um, Null. Okay, so what null is, it's literally just like this equals null. So null exists, and what this is it means nothing. Probably, probably a little bit confusing the way I said that, but basically, this literally means like nothing. It's not zero. It's not a word. It's literally nothing. And this is kind of good for like memory management, right? Like let's say I have like a huge list, right, of whatever. And if we set to null, it's going to clear that list. So if I were to go ahead and print this out, it's just going to give you this weird block, right? It's going to be like 0x0. It just basically means there's nothing there. That's what null is. So bool, okay, so a bool literally is just like this, like equals true, right? Or equals false. So true or false. I'm gonna go ahead and do true. I'm not sure what's actually gonna pop. It's either gonna say one or it's gonna say true. It's gonna say true, okay. Because I work with like different games too, and some games will say one, some will say zero. But yeah, so you could do true or false, right? Boom, boom. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at tables. Tables are interesting. I love tables. So let's go ahead and make a table. All right. So let's go ahead and say I just have something called like grades or something like that, right? So I'm going to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Kenny equals 50. All right, and we put a comma to separate each of these, right? So Kenny equals 50, and then I'm going to do Fred equals, let's just say you got a perfect score 100. So now instead of doing hello right here, right, because this is a little bit different now. But basically what we're going to do is remove this. Definitely remove this. And then we're going to say grades dot Kenny. Alright, so what happens if we print this out? Let's go ahead and see. I probably get an error because I don't really use tables much. Yep. Yeah, excuse that. I forgot the equal sign. Very smart. I'm very, very smart, as you can tell. As you can see, like print out grades dot Kenny. So if you press B, it's gonna do Kenny's score, which is 50, right? Because it's defined as 50 here. And Fred would be 100. So if I go ahead and do this, now it's gonna do 100. Okay. There we go. So that's what a table is. And what you could also do is after it's already been established like this, right? You should be able to do this. I don't know because this is not a global array, not array, a global variable. I'll explain that soon. I'll explain that last actually. Let's go ahead and do grades dot, let's go ahead and just say Kelly. And then let's see if this will work because, well, it's not global, but it should still work. So I'm going to do Kelly. And as you can see, even though we did it right here, you can still add to it. You should be able to at least. Press B. Yeah, you see it works. Okay. And the reason why you can't do equals is because with table specifically, if you try doing it like that, it's just going to give you an error. You know, it says Kelly does not exist, and it's not happy. It is not happy. Okay, let's see what else is here. Arrays. Okay, arrays are really important. So say array. Doesn't matter what you call it, of course. So how arrays work is instead of with the curly brackets, instead just like regular brackets like this right here, right? Okay, let's go ahead and just do mark paper, some bullshit, right? That right. Also, another way you can write this thing, because like if you don't want to have a huge giant line straight like this, what I usually do is I just go like this, I go like this, and you know, I can't even match it up properly. But basically, you could do it like this right here, right? And the thing I like about squirrel array is instead of you having this comma, you don't have to have a comma. You could just instead do it like that. So as you can see, so now let's go ahead and try to print out the array. And it's just going to say array because we haven't defined anything here. I'm going to show you soon what I'm talking about. When I press B, it's just going to say array, and it's going to be this weird number. Like, why is it doing that? Well, because you actually need to specify which place you want to grab, right? So the very first one is mark. So you would think 1 would be mark, but it's not. I'm going to show you. So you see it says paper. Why is that? It's because you actually have to start from 0. So 0 is mark and 1 is paper. Boom. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. Easy, easy. Okay, now I can explain what local variables are and global. So the reason why I have local here is because you have to start out with local if it's not either a global or local. But what local basically means is after it's used, there's like no use for it anymore. It's just going to clear itself, so it doesn't exist anymore. So if I go ahead and use the printer function, right? So if I go ahead and just do array, for example, so script printer array. As you can see, it says doesn't exist. So in case you want it to stay, um, basically what you do is instead of local, you do it like that. Right. This basically means global. Okay, so if I go ahead and print, or not, we're going to try this out now. Oh, I have to first start it. There we go. I have to execute it. I mean, so printer. What the heck happened here? Printer array. See, look, now it actually shows, right? And if I go ahead and do index 0, as you can see, it exists. This exists. So yeah, that's basically how that works. Okay. Variables. I'll explain that very soon. Okay, so enums are like tables, except you can't edit them after they've been created, right? So enum, let me go ahead and just go over here real quick. So enum, let's just go ahead and say something like grades, right? So what this basically is, I like to do it like this because it just looks better, in my opinion. Right, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do like Fred equals 100, and then we're gonna do bar equals 0, right? So now what we do is we can go ahead and say printl grades dot Fred. You see 100, so Fred is 100, so that's how that works too. But once this is made, right, you can't edit it ever again. You might be able to, I just don't know right now. I just know the tables you can. Also, another thing I need to go over is this is case sensitive. So this language is case sensitive. So if we're to do like Fred, right, just like lowercase Fred, it's going to spit out an error because it's unhappy with me and it doesn't like me anymore. There you go. Okay, escape slash comments. Okay, this is important. Right. So let's say I want to like tell someone or whoever's like editing this to understand what I'm trying to do here, right? So what I could do is I could do like initialize the grades. And this won't give you an error because what this means is ignore this. Just it'll ignore it, right? If I go ahead and do it, boom, nothing happens, and I forgot about this, so whoops. There you go, see that 100, right? So this basically means just exclude this, right? So now if we do a star, right, because every line you do right here, right, so I could do like blah blah, and it's gonna give me an error because it doesn't know what the freak blah blah is, right? So if you want to do multiple lines, you could do a star, right? So blah blah blah, and as you can see, everything else is green now, which means this all gets ignored. So if we're gonna try to print L on this thing, I'm actually giving error, so I'm gonna do this real quick. Okay, so if I go ahead and just launch it, as you see, nothing's happening. Pressing B, and nothing's happening. That's because this all gets ignored and they're not here anymore. So this is good in case you're having an error and you're trying to like fix things, and it's also good for describing things as well. So a star and then a followed by a slash is going to stop that. So now everything else resumes as normal as 100 here. Clear everything for you real quick. Okay, now I can explain variables. Variables are used to basically create a lot of things like, this is a variable right here, right? But what I'm trying to say with variables is there's a lot more you could do with them, right? So let's go ahead and say uh, var equals 10, right? Obviously, I've shown this before, right? So if I go ahead and print out var, this is going to be 10. It's going to say 10, but there's more that you can do to it. So let's go ahead and say, oh yeah, var, right? And then what I can do is I can do var equals, I should do equals plus 5. So equals plus 5, right? So 10 plus 5 equals 15. So I'm going to go ahead and press B. Uh, yeah, apparently I'm dumb. It's supposed to be plus equals. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there we go, 15. Jesus. Jesus. God. Okay, anyways. But so let's go ahead and say, if I do just regular equals, right? So even though it equals 10 here, it's going to say 5, because that's what it equals, right? There's also more that you can do with it. So let's say I want to make a local var2 equals 25, right? So what you can do is you could do var equals var plus var2, right? So 10 plus 25, that should be 35. So let's go ahead and press B. Boom, there you go, 35. That's easy, right? So you can also do uh, more stuff, right? So 5, 3. So what we can do is var equals var times 2. So what does 5 times 3 equal? 15, so it should say 15. There you go, right? So then you can also do division. Let's go ahead and divide. And it's going to give me 1. Yep, it gives you 1. Which is actually kind of interesting, because usually it would give you like in other games, it would give you like some other number. It would give you like a float value. But there you go. So let's go ahead. Let me just go ahead and say 15, right? Because 15 divided by 3 would be 5, right? So what you can also do is you could do percent. And what this is it's called modulus. But basically, this basically means remainder, right? So let's see how many remainders there are. There's 0 remainder because it fits in there evenly. But let's say I have 17, right? It doesn't divide in there evenly. So now it should give me 2. Yep. So that's how that works. Let's see, what else am I missing here? So I got division. Well, yeah, subtraction also works as just a minus, right? So 17 minus 3, there you go, 14. So you could do it like that. I'm trying to think of anything else. I'm unsure. I think that's pretty much it. Let me just double check real quick. Okay, another thing I didn't really explain either, right? So 14. So what you can do is you can also do something like plus 3, right? 17 minus 3 plus 3, which should give you the same result. Yep, there you go, 17. Because 17 minus 3. But here's the problem, right? So let's go ahead and say I want to create a string. Um, Actually, no, this might be fine. But you could probably do this. Yeah, you should be able to, hopefully. Let's see if this works. So value plus, right? So now what I can do is, so basically it's going to say value and it's going to print the value here. Let's see what happens. I got 143, so that's I kind of thought that would happen. So the reason why it does that is because this is now a string. Now this entire thing is a string. So as you can see, so 17 minus 3 is 14, right? So it did 14, and it didn't do plus 3. No, no, no. It did it like that. So you're going to keep that in mind. And that's probably what you could use print for as well. So yeah, but if you just have it like this, right? So plus var right here, I go ahead and print it. It's going to say value 14, right? Okay, I think I've explained most of this. Okay, so tokens, so like this is a token, right? And then for making arrays, this would be the token, and then this is for comparing things usually. Pretty sure. I don't really use this thing a lot right here, where it's just a single. But basically, I'm gonna go in a different tutorial. Um, this is kind of useless, this little symbol, because so if you're like doing like most coding languages, right? You'd have to put a comma after like every single one of these, but in this case, you don't really have to. There might be a specific case for this, but as far as I can tell, there is no specific case. Now this means function, like using a function. So for example, if we do printer, I go ahead and do 6, it's just gonna do, right, it's just gonna do, it's gonna say 6. It's kind of useless because you don't need this. Um, you don't, you can still just do it without it, but hey, there you go. Um, you might be able to do something with that. I don't know. You might be able to create like a local whatever I. They can make it do equals printer, right, or something like that. You could probably do something like that. I don't know. You could test that yourself. Um, okay, so if else, I think I'm gonna, yeah, I can go over it right now. So ifs and else, right? So if, so what this does, right? If var equals 10, then we're going to say print true. Okay, right? So if var equals 10, right? If var equals 10, then we're going to say true. However, if it does not equal 10, we're going to say print L false. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this out. It's going to say false because 17 does not equal 10, right? Let's go ahead and press B. It's going to say true. What? Oh, I'm dumb. Okay, so you need to put two equal signs. I forgot. Okay, press B. There you go. That's going to say false. Okay, so let's go ahead and say it does not equal, right? So this means does not, right? Because the exclamation means the opposite. So it does not equal 10. So now it shouldn't because there you go. Okay, so let's go ahead and say, let's go ahead and make this 10. Now it should say true. Boom, 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 boom. Right. So this is very good, right? Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to show you other ones, right? So as you can see, so equals 10. Let's just go ahead and say is greater than 10. Let's see. So if var is greater than 10, it should say either false or true. This is false, yeah, because it's not greater. However, what you can do is you can do equals, right? So if it is less than, or if it's greater or equal to 10, which it is equal to 10. So There you go. See, this is true, right? So we're gonna make this 11. It is now not. Make it 9. It is now less than 10. So it should be false, right? There you go. So you could think of this, right? You've seen this in math before. Actually, I got a freaking image right here, right? There you go. It's literally the same thing. And I usually get these mixed up, right? I usually sometimes actually put an equals right here. I usually put like an equals right here and then the symbol. Um, Now, the way I think of it is I'll think of the symbol and then I'll do equal, right? Because, right? Because if it is greater than or equal to, so that's kind of how I remember where to place it. And you can also do this, right? So there you go. Now it's less than. So let's see. If far is less than 10, let's see. It is true. That's correct. Okay, so that's that. All right, let's go over some functions, right? So real quick, what I'm going to be using in this case is I'll be using the director right here. So there's a thing where you can check if you're playing on the console. I use this, especially in my Vscripts. This is kind of neat because I can choose if I want to use controller or keyboard just by detecting if I'm on console or if I'm on PC. So let's start off with this one right here. I'm going to leave this down in the description, right? You can download it. So I'm going to copy it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do print L. Oh, God, caps lock. And that's going to screw me over because in this language it actually matters. Here we go. So director dot is playing on console. And I got to do like this because that specifies that this is a function. So if we go ahead and print this out, I think it should be fine. So there you go. It's false because I'm on PC, right? Because is playing on a console. I'm not on Xbox. I'm on PC, so that's false. So what you could do here, right, is you could do something like this, right? So you could do if it's playing on console. So if you're playing on console, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do send to console, right? Which is right here. Send to, there you go, see. So send a string to the console as a command. As you can see, it's a string, so you definitely gotta put the quotes there. So we go ahead and do send to console. And what send to console does, right, is so we're gonna do say I'm on console. I'm gonna do else. So if we're not playing on console, then we're gonna send this to the console. Say I'm on PC. Okay, there you go. So if I go ahead and press B, like I'm on PC. That's the say command right there, see? I'm on PC. This is very interesting. And in case you want to do something really cool, like for example, if I want to do, what the fuck? And let's go fire, player color, and if I want to use quotes, I could use quotes like this, right? So what the backslash does is this kind of an escape character, so if I do it like this, it's going to escape the quote. Probably confusing to explain. But I'm going to put it in between here, and I'm going to do, let's say, I want to do the color, whatever the heck, red and green makes. I think it's either yellow or orange. So let's go ahead and see if this works. Press B. Yeah, see, everyone's yellow. Everyone's pissed yellow color. So yeah, that's the same thing as me doing this. And it's for fire, player color 255, 255, 0. What the fuck? It's the same thing as me doing this, right? Now, most of you probably don't even know that you can even do it like that. Most of you probably just think, oh yeah, you just do plus right here, right? Which you can do, but I'm just showing off how to use quotes in case you want to use endfire in this way or anything else. I wouldn't use endfire with send to console unless it's really necessary because there's specific functions for endfire, for example, and fire, right? Do endfire, you can see there's endfire and whatever here, right? Okay, there you go. So I think that's pretty much it. I guess I can go for the for loop real quick. So I'm gonna copy and paste this because it's just easy to copy and paste. Am I right, guys? Yeah. No, I just don't feel like writing it. Okay. So what this does is for, think of it like a condition, right? So we're gonna start with a, right? So a equals 0. So we're starting off at 0, right? And so while a is less than 10, right? So while a is less than 10, then we're going to add a by 1. I did not go over that, did I? Okay, so think of this, right? So if we're going to do var plus plus, then it'll be 10. So plus plus just means add 1. There you go. So every time it does this right here, it's going to add 1, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do print L. I'm going to do A, right? So it's going to loop 10 times because, it's less than 10. So let's go ahead and it's B. There you go. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 0. Right? Why it says 0 to, I don't know. Anyways, so that's how that works, right? And so you could do anything here. I can do. Why does it do that? I get used to that. Right, so now instead of printing the value A, it's going to be printing hello. So if everyone press B, it's because he's going to do it a lot of times right here, right? So that's very interesting. I'm going to explain what continue is. I'm pretty sure it's the same way as it is in GSC. Hopefully I don't get this wrong. Let's go ahead and say if A equals 5. Go ahead and do this. If A equals 5, continue. Uh, continue. Right. And then I'm going to do print L A. So what this should do is whenever A is 5, it is going to skip everything down here. It's going to skip it. Go ahead and press B. Oh no. Anyways, I forgot this right here. I forgot the freaking double equals. Man, that's very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and press B. As you can see, it prints everything, but as you can see, 5 is not there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So it basically just skips it, right? Also, another thing we could talk about is return. I don't know if this will work, but we'll see in this case if it will or not. Yep, okay, it worked. So return it means cancel everything. So we press it again. It's going to cancel everything after it hits 5 because, when it equals 5, just stop it all. But there's another thing that you could do with return that is really important, right? So let's go ahead and make a function. I'm going to name it Vari. For example, so Vari. I'm going to do var. Okay, and we don't have to worry about var and var being here because this is actually in a function and this is not. Actually, get rid of this now. I can keep it there. Forget it. Okay, so var. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do. Okay, so var. Wait, hold up. Var plus equals 7, for example, right? So whatever we put in here, so I'll put like 7, then it's going to do 7 plus 7, which is 14. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do return var. Okay, it's probably as confusing to you. So I'm going to do local var equals vari. Oh, vari 7. Okay, and I'm going to print this out. Print L var. And this should be 14, I'm hoping. Oh, yep, I said 14 right here, which is correct. It's just I have all this stuff here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say stop executing this stuff. Okay, I'm going to go and clear. So I'm going to press B. It's going to say 14, right? So that's how this works. You could do equals function. So return, right? Because this does 7. So I'm going to do 7. Okay, it's going to do 7. And then it's going to do plus 7, which is 14. And once it's 14, we're going to return this. We're going to return this. And this is going to go ahead and grab it. And it's going to put it there. So if I go ahead and do like 3, right? So 3 plus 7. this is gonna work too. And boom, 10, right? So that's how you could do that. I wish I've known about this, because jeez, I didn't know about this for like a long time. But yeah, so that's what you could do with this, which can be really important. For now, I think that's it. Um, this is a long tutorial, but it does go over most of the really basic stuff, right? Um, if you need help with anything, if you're confused with anything, message me on Discord. I'm gonna leave it down in the description. Just, I'll try my best to help, or maybe other people can help. So far, we don't have anyone who actually does Vscripts in my server. But hopefully, after I keep releasing these tutorials, people will eventually learn, and we can have some really cool things going on, because there really is so much that you can do in this game with Vscripts. It's pretty nice, honestly. You know, if you really wanted to, you can make like custom game modes. Like I'm debating on making this thing called Survival Plus, right? Basically, you can have like a shop menu, just like waves of zombies and stuff. That's a whole different topic. But yeah, if you have any questions, you can either write down in the comments, message me on Discord, do whatever you want. Okay. But I hope this helps. I really, really hope this helps.